So I am south of Gatesville, Texas, by about 19 miles. And maybe that puts me out of the drop dead center totality of the eclipse. But I had to shoot it from a ghost town. And this ghost town is called The Grove. And we'll check it out later, but first I've got an eclipse to catch. And it's a little tricky with the camera I'm using, so let's see if we can get it. So the eclipse is right up there, folks. A little bit cloudy. I am capturing it though, and in this ghost town called The Grove. And what I'm using to capture it is currently a lens pointed right into the sun and probably frying its little brain. And it is a Nikon P900. Discontinued model, but it's got a 2000 millimeter zoom lens and it takes really decent photos. Like, where's the play button? Cut that part out. Play it. There we go. There you go. If you can see that, there is the partial eclipse beginning right there. And we'll capture some more of it. So about this ghost town, gee, I don't know much about it. If only there was somebody here that could tell me something about it. Oh, look.
Hi.
Who's this beauty? Hmm?
Hi, my name's Lena Proft, and I am the great-granddaughter of W.J. Doobie, whose name is on the front of the general store over here.
Up there at the top. See?
And this is one of the ghost towns of Texas. We are actually on the cover of a book, The Ghost Towns of Texas. One of the reasons that this town became a ghost town is this well behind us was in the way. The state wanted to...
This darn well was in the way, you say?
Yes, the state was putting forth their plans for where to put State Highway 36. And originally the plans were going to go through the center of town, but would have gone over this well.
Center of town.
Yeah, the old Gatesville Temple Highway. But it would have required paving over the well. This well was hand dug, never dry. The townspeople did not want their well to go away. And so the state moved the plans for the road over about a quarter of a mile. And as a result, the town became a ghost town. Now it did in its heyday have a bank, a post office, a doctor, a general store. It's rumored that Bonnie and Clyde came through the town at one point. But yeah, it was actually up for auction a few years ago. You can find a documentary on the auction of the Grove online, and the family ended up buying it back, and so is now back in the family of W.J. Doobie.
Yay! So, you know, normally my wife has to read a plaque, and there's some boring plaque and we stumble over the words and there's too much information. But Lena here, she did this perfectly. Perfectly. It's like you should be a tour guide. You should just like live here, be the tour guide every time somebody gets out of their car.
Maybe I'll be my retirement gig.
Yeah, there you go.
She's in training to be that tour guide.
Right.
Now, if that was, I
was going to say, if that was your great grandfather, and then there's a grandfather,
yes,
and this is your dad.
Yes.
And do you mind being on YouTube?
No, I do not mind being on YouTube.
Good.
So no, it's we moved back here, and it was really a joy to move back to the old family farm, which is about a mile down the road, and we love it out here.
Do you get snow here?
In a very occasional and rare event. I mean, when it froze really hard here 3 years ago,
Snowmageddon.
what killed all the cactus, and that was Snowmageddon. We got to 0 and we had snow, which doesn't happen here.
Right.
But you know, normally.
But you don't get much snow, though.
We don't get much.
Just a dusting.
Yeah, just a dusting, and it'll usually be gone in a day.
7 years ago? No, it was more than that.
It was more than that. We had Easter.
Snow on Easter, and the bluebonnets were in full bloom, covered in snow. So that
that would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
That was pretty strange.
So
it was beautiful, but kind of strange.
Now, we were really delighted to have the town.
They used to do
back into the family. So
when Moody Anderson had the town, he would do jamborees out here, and people would bring out just food and their guitar, and you play dominoes, card games, listen to old people just playing music on there. guitars.
This young lady had her sweet 16 birthday party in the saloon.
In the saloon.
Nice.
True story. Made for some interesting rumors at school the
Do
following
you play
weekend.
guitar?
I do not play guitar.
Oh, okay.
But it is where I learned how to play 42, which is a dominoes game, and I grew up playing 42 in that.
In that
And
saloon,
saloon.
right there.
Yeah. But yeah, you can go find a documentary of when they auctioned off the Grove.
Okay.
There was a local Austin production group that came out here, was doing documentary on auctioneers, and learned about the fact that Moody Anderson was going to be auctioning off all of his movie props and stuff that he had out here along with the town.
Movie props. So there was a movie done here?
No movies done here.
Nothing other
He
than
just
little
propped it up
short
so it was
He
clips.
just
something to
propped
show
it up
something.
so it looked
Okay.
like a country life museum.
Well,
Okay.
and he leased props to the movie companies. And so there were a lot of movies.
Yeah, we had the tables from Lonesome Dove,
Lonesome Dove,
Nice.
Secondhand,
Lions.
Lions.
I have a bag of
Yeah,
coins
it's
from
another
Second
Texas
Friday
movie.
Night
Lights.
Lights.
Yeah.
A lot of those movies, the props came from his collection of antiques.
Oh, that is
So
fascinating.
a lot of those things were auctioned off and got top dollar.
That is awesome. How much did the place sell for?
Laughable.
5 million?
It was 200 plus thousand. It was not.
200.
Yeah.
My house was 310. I could have bought
Yeah.
this. I
It
could have
was,
bought it and lived in one of these.
The auction was interesting.
There's my
because
apartment right up there. See, I could have just lived
doctor's
right up
office?
there.
Yeah.
Sure, I would have lived there.
My sister did not intend on bidding on the place. She had come like the rest of us because we spent our summers here at our grandparents. And she just came to say goodbye. And the second day of the auction, when they were getting ready to auction off the property, she had talked to her husband and said, "Can I just bid on it?" And they agreed on a maximum. And when folks found out it was the granddaughter bidding, the other bidders just dropped out.
Yeah, the auctioneer got Moody
But
up on
that's
stage
great,
to
because-
try to
so-
make a pitch and be like, tell us a bit about the town. And Moody was fairly elderly at that time, had a few strokes, and he was like, "Who's the top bidder right now?" And they pointed to Fran, and he said, "Oh, I'm so glad it's going back to the family." And you could just
Yes.
watch the auctioneer go
auctioneer's
like,
face
"No,"
drop.
but we were really happy.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what's your name, sir? I'm sorry.
I'm Bob Proft.
Bob Proft. Okay, nice to meet you, Bob. Marshall Miller.
Marshall, pleasure.
So let's go see this. How's our son?
a
Completely
little bit-
obscured.
Yeah.
Good. Yep. No eclipse for the moment, so let's go see the saloon.
Yeah.
16-year-old.
Now the Dolly Parton doors are gone.
Yeah, we used to have some
Dolly Parton.
horns.
Swinging
Dolly
doors
Parton
were
doors,
in
you
the
call them.
best little whorehouse in Texas, so
Yeah.
Dolly Parton had passed through those.
Oh, wow.
They were part of the auction, but you can see where they used to be.
Neat.
And so yeah, then we have the saloon. The saloon was not originally here. It was added later. The blacksmith shop is probably the oldest building in the Grove.
Okay.
But yeah, this is where they used to have the jamborees. You'd have the musicians kind of just hanging out up there. People would just bring some food and stuff, drinks and stuff like that. Ladies would show up with curlers in their hair ready for church the next day.
So it warms my heart to see that it is being used again to
Yes.
entertain.
Yes.
What years
Oh,
was this? I mean,
so if we go in the museum, there's actually like a placard that has a little bit more of the detailed history, but I think
Okay.
it dates back to like around the 1860s.
as most ghost towns do.
Yeah,
So the expansion of America between
yeah,
1840 and up. So,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, this poor guy.
I know.
He's had one too many. He's worse off for it right there, I think. Hey, buddy. Time to go.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
That's right. Oh, I'm so hungry I could eat half a deer. Well, there's a lot to see in here and a lot to photograph too
Yeah.
with my real camera. Well, Lena, I want to thank you very much
course.
for giving me this tour. This is really the icing on my whole trip
Oh,
coming out
God.
here. So.
Yeah.
And for the rest of you, stay tuned to see how much of this eclipse we can get with a sky like that.
Well, we got some patches coming over here.
This is true. It could clear up. Okay, so here's the professional NASA filter that removes all color, unfortunately. And there's our eclipse. But if I take this off and put on this, that filter right there, that one, then the yellow of the sun comes back. So let's do that. So I have to admit I was a little bit out of sorts on this particular day, as I had woke up at 3:15 in the morning, kind of wondering if I was going to be in the right place at the right time or where even I was going to be. And coffee only lasts so long. So I didn't get a whole lot of photos of the ghost town that I normally would have spent an hour doing, because at the same time we had an eclipse going on and I was meeting plenty of friendly people. One of those friendly people was Steve. Now, Steve volunteered images for me of the general store. It may have been closed. I don't remember. I didn't even try to look. So, Steve, thank you for these photos. And Steve is one of the guys who restores this place. He had just recently finished the fencing around one of the yards and made it look very old-fashioned. He did a great job. Enjoy his photos. So this is Lena, and it's a very awkward pose that I backed her into, so she's being a real trooper here. But I put the whole sun in her hands. I put the, for money I'll stop singing. Anyway, Lena and her dad Bob and Pat, who had given me some pudding and a quick dose of coffee to wake me up, had invited me out to see the wildflowers, because this part of Texas is known for its bluebells, and they're available for a limited time only. Well, I got the eclipse, and I couldn't be more pleased, especially getting the eclipse in a ghost town with a well that stopped the town. So rather than them putting a road right through over the top of this well, they preserved the well but lost the activity in the town. The town of Grove, Texas, in which I was fortunate enough to meet the owners while I watched the eclipse. What else do we have to see over here too? Because it looks like we have two stores.